For those that don't know, Chris White is the founding member of Tiny Room for Elephants. Damn, how long have I known Chris? I'm trying to think. Well, I used to work previously before Tiny Room for Elephants. I worked with Chris with the Philadelphia Music Magazine with me, Chris White, John Kaufman, Jamaica Ill, AKA DJ Aphrodisiac. And we did that for, I think, wow, for at least 4 or 5 years. So
probably right up until right before the first Tiny Room.
For sure. Yeah. So I met Chris White, I want to say Roots Picnic 2011.
11, that's right. Well, a little bit before that, but yeah. So I think just over 9 years now.
Yeah. But that was our first like working experience, documenting that. And I'll have Chris tell us about that story later. That was fun. So in honor of the legend himself, you know what I'm saying, the legend behind the lens, Chris White, we're doing a clip show today. Well, I mean, a lot of people always ask, like, you know, what the earlier years were because they weren't there and they seen some video and stuff. So I feel like no better way than this to show them what we have. And so we're going to watch some clips from 2014, and we're going to talk Tiny Room for Elephants. We're going to talk all the things that you wanted to know but never knew or never thought to ask or whatever. And we're going to talk just regular shit like we usually do. So the legend himself, Casey Affleck, Chris White.
Just like old times.
Chris, thanks for joining us on the Happy Hour.
Yeah, man. Great to be here, man. Great to see y'all.
Great to have you, man.
For sure. Great to be here, man.
So before we roll the clip, just for the lames that don't know who we are, this is the TRFE Happy Hour, Tiny Room for Elephants Happy Hour. I'm Dame. My Instagram is Dame Adelphia. People call me that, but it's not really my name. But I like it. We got Eric Boss, live from Mexico, with a fresh drink. Same glass. I mean, we wanna.
Yeah.
Boss, can you just kind of describe where you are in relation to your surroundings? And
move your laptop around, man. Show us the surroundings, man.
Well, there's not too much. I'm in a
bad service.
We see the sun. We see the
little nook right here.
Yeah.
I mean,
but yeah, I'm probably about a football field length from the water.
Nice.
We want to see some awesome banana pancakes. Check out Eric Boss's Instagram. He's eating a lot.
Like a king.
And also we have Mike Greenidge.
What's up? Coming to you live from the spare bedroom at my crib. I got some.
You got some art in the back, Mike.
Yeah, I found some artwork to throw up because I felt like I was the only lane without any artwork in my joint. These are original YaYa Greenidges. I think she created these when she was probably about 5 years old. I think her name is in them.
Let me go see what I can dig up.
Yeah, I think her name. They're like they're YaYa Greenidge abstracts. Her name is actually in each one of them in some way, shape, or form. So I felt like my shot looked a little lame because I had no artwork in there. So I figured, you know what I'm saying? Boom.
It looked like you were in the doghouse, bro. Like your wife is like, yeah, not tonight. You're in the, you know what I'm saying?
That's what it looked like. Yeah, I had to spare bedroom. Like
you livened it up though.
I'm about tired of that Tiny Room for Elephants Happy Hour nonsense. You like how much you stay in the room with them tonight?
I'm right there with you, man. I'm looking the exact same in here, man.
I see your 2016.
Oh, that's. Yeah, that was all I could do, man. We had 2020 has been the year, man. I had on top of everything, had a leak going on top of the computer and everything. So we've been having to do some renovations in here. So yeah, dumped on my whole computer, just a puddle across everything, man. So a couple renovations going, 2020.
You would never know, man. The walls look clean.
Yeah. They look half clean, half done.
We also have our CEO, YaYa Horne.
Hey guys.
What's up?
Hey.
The queen of the room.
Are you drinking something over there? Or is it just?
You know what?
this is
I'm drinking water. I'm drinking water.
Nice.
You know,
That's why the skin's so good. I see how that works, right?
Well, you know, I'm into my meditation mode, and I just, you know, just trying to keep it all body healthy, you know.
And today, working the boards, none other than I refer to him as J Dog. Everybody else calls him Jason or Jay or Johan.
Yeah.
He's got a bunch of aliases. JS Beats on Instagram. Jason Bachman.
What's up?
What's up, J Dog?
Yeah, and I'm in the additional bedroom here. Weird part of this whole COVID thing has been like deja vu from having a baby. Like when my kid was real young, I was back in this same room, like working on stuff and making beats and staying up late. And then here I am. You know, I have a studio that I'm paying for, but I'm not going to regularly. But I'm back here surrounded by instruments again, like trying to get a little creative time. But you know, this is my my crazy studio right now.
I think what will help in getting the inspiration and everything is just start calling yourself J Dog, man. You know what I mean? Just start get that J Dog mindset, man.
You know what I'm saying? You got to get out of that Johan mindset.
Yeah, it's J Dog, man.
You got to be J Dog, man. You got different beats coming out of you and everything, man. Your whole energy be different.
I don't mind the nickname, but I don't know if it'll be self-applying. Thank you.
Okay. Give it a minute.
We'll see.
It'd be like J Dog's not feeling this.
Yeah, only in the third person.
So
All
you
right,
got to do is be like Kanye West out here, man.
Let's
Don't
not.
crazy.
Let's not do that. Let's not. It's run that beautiful bean footage. So, I need room for elephants, man.
What's poppin'?
And it's centered around this idea of curating all these different artists and all these different mediums.
Yeah.
And kind of bringing them together and giving them an opportunity to create and kind of tell kind of their story about them as artists in some sort of way.
Oh, that's
So,
hot. Oh, that's dope. So you're doing like fucking artist profiles.
So
and
what,
shit
so what it's moving now towards is like more centered on these short vignettes that we're gonna do about them and their art and their artistry through the process of them creating with us.
Got it.
So, you know, it's still centered in music. It's
Yeah,
still
yeah.
in some sort of way, but it's kind of branched off to more the centerpiece is about these short little docs that we're getting with all these different artists.
That's fly.
Some like some side hoe shit, man for suicide. Why waste the whole clip? Man, I'd rather go out with a bang, bang, bang.
So the latest thing though is this whole 30-day project that we're working on, where we're actually going to be building a room, constructing a room within a warehouse, and we're going to have this for 30 days and be inviting all these different artists on different days to come through and create in this room, kind of mixing and matching different people within the room at different times. So it's going to change on a day-to-day basis. So sometimes, you know, we might be more active in kind of the process of it, and other times we're just going to be there to document it and let them do their thing.
Oh yeah, that's super dope. Yeah.
There you go.
Wow.
Yo,
I
that's the
haven't
first
seen
time
that
I've
in a
ever
long
seen
time,
that, man.
That's the first time a lot of people's ever seen that.
Dude, that's pretty dope,
No,
man.
Chris, right when that rolled, you were like, wow.
Yeah. I honestly, I didn't click to me that it was going to be that one. I honestly thought it was going to be the one after we did the first room. I didn't think it was going to be the one before the room. Crazy.
First thought seeing that. How's that hit you?
Oh man, a lot of memories, man. You know, a whole lot of memories, and you know, I can think of, I mean, obviously seeing all the places that we went and shot that stuff and the actual footage, but I'm also thinking of the conversation that was the audio for a lot of it, which, Dame, it was you, Gabron, and me in that room, right? In your,
yeah, for sure.
It was, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought so. And then, so it's weird watching and seeing a lot of this stuff and then knowing now what's happened since then, but then hearing this kind of like master plan that we're talking about doing, and kind of like how blatant it is that we're in the early stages of it, you know what I mean? But just a lot of memories and excitement, and then also cross-referencing that with like everything that's happened since then with Tiny Room, and then, you know, where we are right now. You know, it's a lot of things, but I'm happy that that's there. It's kind of like a time capsule for just where our heads were at the beginning of all this, and kind of what the dreams were. But it's really dope. It was cool to watch.
So my first, I chose the clip one because it was like the earliest representation of the idea, right? You know what I'm saying? Or like you know, it would take us like, you know, 25 minutes to explain what we were trying to do. You know what I'm saying? I remember those first video clips where we were like trying to like get these, like, you know, these tag videos where it was like, here's everything, and like, can we get it into 5 minutes? You know what I'm saying? Can we get it under, you know what I'm saying? But that was like the first, and like the, like, kind of like we were in a warehouse that we didn't even use that warehouse. That was like the first warehouse where we realized that, first of all, the design we had was like way too small, right? We actually we talked about it being like, I think 16 feet, whatever, 16 square feet. And then we like got there and we're like, the camera's not gonna have enough room. Like, it was like, so it was exciting because it was like, that was like us trying to figure shit out. Like, that was us like, we're gonna do a little bit of everything, and here's a little bit of everything that we've done already, right? And also, like, you know, it was like, you know, even like, you know, John with the sketch from our sketch, like all those things, like, right. Like were there were the accidents that turned into like, oh shit, like to the plans that became like, oh, this is everything, you know what I mean? Like, no, 24 feet. You know what I mean? Like all the numbers started to morph, and all the ideas started to like, and everybody had an idea off this idea, right? You know what I'm saying? Everybody saw potential in it, not just for the group, but also for themselves. Like, it was like, oh, this is a way that we can do this with video. This is a way that we can do this with music. This is the way that we can put that together. This is the way that we can incorporate art. This is the way that, you know what I mean? And all these working parts. And that kind of still happen now. And a lot of those things that we talked about doing like then, like I look at it, I'm like, yo, we're doing that. Like, you know what I mean? Like even with the studio last year, right? We're giving our artists a space to create, like word for word, like we're doing all of those things and shit. So that, like, I just thought it was the randomness of like,
those were the seeds.
Yeah, like, but it was like, what the fuck you think you talk? What are you doing? And it was like, oh, but that is what we're doing and shit. So
right. Well, yeah, I think that's kind of the cool part about watching it, is watching how many things have changed, you know, like, but also how much the seeds really were there in terms of what it evolved into. Like the basic kind of foundation of it is still, you know, there's still a lot of those same principles, I feel like,
sure,
within that and what you guys are doing. So it's cool to kind of look at the two of them at the same time, and, you know, see everybody, and, you know, shout out to Amy and Mars, two of the other founding members in there, and just seeing all of us in there with this like sketch of like, this is what it's going to be, and ended up not even being remotely close to that. And, you know, and like, this is the trailer for something that's in a place that is not even the place that we ended up using initially, but having all that as a time capsule to be like, all right, none of that was really it, but it was kind of still the start of what became it, you know? And I think that's really cool to see it. So it's almost like all the things that didn't end up happening are actually the shit that kind of makes it dope to me, of like, you know? So, yeah.
And before I pass it on, like, also, I also credit you and your abilities with film and like, because we couldn't tell the story like ourselves. It was too big. It was too much of an idea. Like if we broke it down to a small part of it, it was like, oh yeah, that makes sense, right? But all the things it was like what? So it took like your video, like I mean your content, like the shit that you created, to like really tell the story in a condensed period of time. You know what I'm saying? And that's something that like that is still like something that we try to do as well, even with the music series. It's like, you know, it's like, yeah. So I mean, you were there for most of it, right? YaYa, you there?
Yeah. I wasn't there for that part. That was pre.
No, you weren't there for. Yeah, you're right. You were there when it was like built. When it was
I was there when we were in the warehouse and actually doing it. So even when I look at that and realize how much of the intention that it started with that actually came to pass, that's amazing to me. And also too, like the risks. I mean, Mars running down the street in, you know, an elephant mask. Running down
briefcase full of fake $100 bills. Like
yeah, actually, wait, hold on.
You got one?
You got one.
I don't have much in this room, but I got one. Right there.
That's what's up.
Yeah. So,
yeah.
Cool.
I got a handful.
Yeah,
shout out-
do
shout
that
out to
kind of
Mars,
shit to
man.
get that like animation, you know.
Oh yeah, that was all Mars, man. I mean, shout out to Mars 5.
Yes.
You know, just doing all of those animations and a lot of that I forget what you call it, like rotoscoping within that, and then I laid the video underneath it. But yeah, that's what's so crazy. I like even looking at some of the visuals to tell some of the story. But the whole funny part is that like I think we were periodically doing it, but we were still figuring a lot of this shit out. So it kind of kept evolving, and we like kept having to kind of refine within that. And so that was like the best that we could do to sum ourselves up there. And then within like 2 weeks, it had like changed, I feel like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's
for
like,
sure.
all right, well, now you got to do a whole other one. But that was part of the fun part with a lot of it was kind of, you know, those checkpoints and watching everything evolve. But yeah, it's crazy.
So our first segment today is Mike broadcasting live from the Tiny Room for Elephants Bat Cave. Got the art on the walls. It's going down. Over a drink.
Hey man, so listen, Chris, man. First of all, it's a pleasure to re-meet you. I know you said we met before.
Likewise, man. Likewise.
Had, as much as conversation as I'm hoping that we have today, man, to really get to know each other and enjoy each other's company, man. So over a drink though, before we get into our little chat, man, I'm gonna do my drink. So today what I'm doing is a whiskey iced tea. All right, this is my drink for today. So excuse me, whiskey lemonade. Excuse me.
Oh, okay.
So I got.
that's the special here today.
What's that?
I'm not kidding. That's the special here today. Yeah, I'm dead serious.
Look at that. So I got the Blantons. So I got some top shelf whiskey for y'all. You know what I mean? You know, YaYa, I tried to get this down there in Delaware. You know, they wouldn't sell it to me.
Really?
They told me I wasn't a member. They said, we have 12 bottles, but you're not a member, so you can't buy it.
Yeah,
I said, yo, man, I got money. They was like, we ain't trying to hear. We don't want your money.
I'm a member. I could have hooked you up that day.
Yeah, they was like, your money's no good here. It's like, you can't buy that bottle.
I feel like this is a whole nother segment y'all can do. Delaware liquor.
The Delaware liquor runs.
Yeah.
So what we gonna do, right, is we take throw a couple cubes of ice in the little glass, right? Put a little, oh, I gotta hold it up so the camera can see what we got here. So we gonna throw a little, you know, shot. I like to do a third. So a little shot of that Blanton's in there. Normally I just drink that straight, right? Because you really don't need to mix Blanton's with nothing. But for the show, I bring out the special one for the show. And then what I got here is some homemade lemonade.
Wow.
Some fresh cut up lemonades with a little bit of lime in there, a little sugar.
You made that?
No, I didn't make this. I think my wife made this. I think my wife made that. So we gotta throw a little bit of that in there.
Yo, sidebar, Chris. Every show he comes with an awesome set of ingredients that he makes none of it, but it's always.
It's homemade though.
It's homemade though. And then you know, I always like to top it off with a spin drift, y'all. So today I got a lemon. I got the lemon spin drift to add the little to the drink, right? And then look at that. Fresh lime for y'all. You know, I'm garnishing. I'm taking it up a notch today and I'm garnishing. Right? So we gonna drop a little. What's that? You see that? We're gonna drop a little lime in there. Yeah. I wish I had a one of them choice to. You know what I'm saying? What's that?
You said lime, but is it mint?
No, it's mint. You know I mess up everything. That's mint. I wish I had like the thing that you use to mash it up.
Yes.
But I ain't got one of those. And then and that's it, man.
Cheers.
That's your whiskey lemonade. That's a cheers on that.
Cheers. Damn.
And since real quick before we move forward, I ain't got no place to put this extra lime, man. I mean mint. So I'm gonna just hold that in my hand for a second. And in honor of my man E being out there in Mexico, I'm gonna pour a shot of that.
Ooh.
You gotta ring the bell though.
Oh yeah, I gotta ring the bell.
Pulled out the expensive one.
You know what I'm saying? Tequila. Dame has some tequila.
So I got a little Casamigos.
I got a little, what do they call this?
Shout out to good Brian from
Casa Azul. Little shot of Casa Azul over there.
I feel unprepared.
Not much. Not much though.
I have water.
Not much. There's a little shot there.
Yeah.
So, boom. Cheers. Oh, he walked away.
He went to go get a drink.
Oh, okay, I'll wait till he comes
back.
He was inspired.
I inspired him. Go get yourself a little shot. We'll cheers to that when yours show up. But in the meantime, Chris, man, just real quick, man, because like I'm watching that piece, and I didn't see, Dame didn't send me the pieces, so I didn't get to see. So I'm not real familiar.
Hey, Mike, I did that on purpose.
Oh, okay.
It's like,
well,
yeah.
You succeeded. So, but what's your history? Like, is it film? Is it video? Is it, is it you just pick up a camera and start shooting? Like, what's your story, man?
Yeah, man. I mean, I guess I went to school at Temple for film and video. And shortly after that, I was working in restaurants a little bit, but like I was young, like fresh out of college when I met Dame, and then through one of my mentors, John Kaufman, who was working with Dame at Tiny Room for Elephants, just started working with him and freelancing, man. And I was kind of lucky enough to just like jump right in to freelancing through John and through Philadelphia Music Magazine and a couple other things. And kind of like I got into it, was graduating college right as that DSLR kind of affordable camera boom happened. So I really kind of lucked out in that sense, and kind of met John, who was just a couple years older than me and was kind of tied in with, I've been doing it a little bit for a couple of years already. And so I lucked in and kind of just jumped into the fire with those guys. And then through that, met Dame and Jamaica and other folks, and was able to kind of jump into that kind of entrepreneurial art, Philly music, culture. And then also just do a bunch of really shitty side jobs just to pay the bills, man. And that's
got to be like that.
So
sometimes.
Yeah, man. But I, I was super fortunate to meet the people I did, because it allowed me to just kind of learn on the go. And with the technology being what it was, that was really lucky, because it kind of enabled us to really not have to have a whole lot of money or have to work for a big company, and we could kind of just figure it out on the go. And that's kind of where I went, and then just progressed from there. So.
That's crazy you say that, because I just had that conversation with one of the shooters at my gig, who I was having about how the technology, like when I came in the industry, you needed like $80,000 to get in the game. Like nobody was encouraging freelancers because you just couldn't afford it. You know what I'm saying? You couldn't buy cameras. You know what I mean? Camera I was shooting when I first got in the game, it was like a $70,000 camera. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? That they gave me to go out in the street to shoot with. I had one stolen at the it used to be the Sheraton at on Ben Franklin Parkway. You know what I'm saying? When the camera was stolen, the cops showed up, man. They was like, so what was the value of the camera? I said, you know, all told, it's probably 50 grand. They was like, oh, hold on, man. We got to let you talk to somebody else. We can't take this report. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what because he was like, that's grand larceny. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's not just a theft anymore. You know, so it's interesting that how when you came in, it was that shift back to people getting back into being able to freelance and being able to go out and buy gear because the price had come down so much that you were able to get into the game and you didn't need a machine behind you.
Right. And I mean, I'm sure that camera that they stole from you was a giant block that weighed about 70 pounds and you were lugging that thing around and it was in a giant thing, you know?
Every day.
Yeah. I mean, even when I was in college, like those are kind of the things that we were learning on to a certain extent. And by the time that I left it was like this big, you know, as far as like being able to get a really quality image out of that.
Correct.
So we really lucked out. But I remember walking around North Philly at Temple, like with these giant, looked like a plutonium case, you know, it was like bright yellow and super heavy and walking around. And so, you know, it was just really fortunate with the timing on that, you know, because a lot of things were changing really quickly and just happened to luck out, being right place at the right time, basically.
So when you got introduced to the tiny room and what they were doing, did you understand what you were walking into, man? Because like when Dame first said it to me, like I kind of was like, I don't know what this thing is, this tiny room, because I didn't have the history of what they had done. And then when I walked into Bach and seen what it was, it kind of blew my mind because I didn't see that coming. You know what I'm saying? And so for you, but you were in there at the beginning. Like, did you have an idea of what this thing was going to be? Or was you just like, listen, man, I'm a fresh kid, and this is an opportunity for me to get some chance to shoot, and I'm just going to shoot, and whatever it is what it is?
Sure. I mean, I would say probably first off, none of us knew what this was going to be or what it could be to a certain extent. I mean, I think Dame, we were all figuring this out as we went. And so, you know, I've been working with Dame for about 4 years before that. I think Dame was the first one to really coin the idea of like the tiny room for elephants and kind of what that could be in terms of the box. But all of that kind of that all played out as we went. So it was kind of evolving. It really wasn't anything when we were working together, because I've been working with Dame for a couple of years before that. And this evolved actually out of some of that footage that you saw in that trailer. We were doing the basic seeds of it, and correct me if I'm wrong, Dame, because I got to like refresh on this, but it was out of a like play or installation that we were going to do for the Fringe Arts Festival in 2014. And that was with Truck North. And it was this whole kind of Deacon Dunn play. Dame, feel free to jump in.
So,
because I'm like,
I mean, like, I think like coming off of like Philadelphia Music Magazine, and if you're not familiar, it's something that like, you know, we pretty much we documented music in and around Philadelphia and just wherever we could reach to. You know what I mean? Like, and it was a video magazine, right? Which means that we shot a gang of content, and it's a gang of beautiful content. But then it's like, you know, you're entering into the wild, wild west of like getting your content seen. You know what I'm saying? So like, but anyway, it's a lot of stuff that like I'm still really proud of. But so we came out of like this creative space of like just kind of like, you know, I'm working in music, he's working in video, like creating content, and how they work work together in a lot of ways, right? And we, I think I had just done records for the Roots, and it was like kind of like what's next, and you know, and kind of like we just kind of, like you said, we just kind of figuring it out, and it came, and we did work on the thing for the Fringe with Truck North, Not All Gods Go to Heaven, which was a quote from an Intel piece. Shout out to Intel, and that was kind of like a hybrid kind of like thing as well. It was like kind of like putting things together, like, and also it was like a lot of voids for us as like creatives, like, you know, like, and it was a strength in working together. Like, oh, yo, you make music. Oh, yo, you do this. Like, how can we, you know what I'm saying? How can I make your video better? How can you make my music better? And we're moving into an information, like a content kind of driven kind of industry anyway, where it was like, you know, you lead with videos before you lead with a song. And it's like, it was so important at that time. I remember like seeing like these big records come out from these artists where it was like, you just saw the video and you just knew. You didn't even hear it. It was like, you know, people were getting deals from like a song on a mixtape. So we just kind of like, it was a lot of stuff happening, a lot of like interesting creative things happening at that time. I think that, like you said, you wouldn't have predicted that it would have went this way, even if we told you, and then we did kind of tell you, and it's like, how did that happen and shit? Like,
well, and we were still figuring out. I mean, I think with some of the team that was a part of putting that Fringe, those are kind of the core founding members of Tiny Room, which was Dame, that was kind of coming from a music standpoint, myself coming from a video standpoint, Dante Neal, aka Mars 5, that was coming from a kind of art painting mixed with motion graphics and graphic design. And then Amy Gaio, who was coming from a kind of production, coordination, concert world and kind of live event type of space, and also construction of spaces. And so I think that it kind of evolved out of that was kind of the team that was working on putting that Fringe Festival piece together. And then that slowly evolved into Dame being like this Tiny Room for Elephants idea. And then we all kind of just started to build on it. But it was taking almost the core things that we were already doing to do that Fringe Festival, and then starting to apply that on like a broader, something that's more broad, but at the same time also more focused on a kind of specific mission that we laid out in that trailer. But again, that's like the very beginning of laying that out. And then by the time that we actually did it, it evolved even more from that. And then YaYa starts joining in even more, and it starts to even pivot to become even more of an outward forward facing festival. And so it's just crazy that kind of at these checkpoints, you do your best to sum it up, and then it evolves again, and then evolves again, and then you keep going. So
as someone who was there from,
what's up?
Was that, what year was that?
Yeah, what year was that?
Was the Fringe? I think the Fringe was 2014. I mean, I think that we did it all that stuff came together really quick, if I remember right. I think like the Fringe was in October, right? It's in October or September.
Yeah.
And then we did and then we kind of went full force on
it was like December
room idea. Yeah,
like, like November. It was like
it was end of November into damn sure
into December. I remember showing at the holiday party smelling like propane. It wasn't good.
Yeah.
Were you surprised, as I was, to realize how inviting this Tiny Room environment was, man? Like when Dame told me about the space at the pier, when they got the space last year, and he was like, look, man, just come through, man. I said, well, what, it's gonna run me anything? Like, nah, man, just show up, man. Like, where can I fit in? I don't know, just show up. If you want to be down, just show up. Right. But did that surprise you? Or, I mean, but if you were there from the beginning, like how welcoming and how open to artists and from any lane that this Tiny Room thing was.
Right. I mean, yes and no, right? I mean, I would say, I think early on, we definitely picked up on one of the biggest assets, if not the biggest asset of this whole thing, is this idea of kind of the synergy between people and creatives. But like all of us that were doing it, it was always good vibes initially, and it was all kind of always super welcoming to folks. And that's on the strength of the people that were involved. Like we were all friends. It was all super kind of welcoming, but also seeing the thing that really surprised me and made me super happy to see was how quickly folks bought into that and how that synergy then really started to roll, where, you bring people in and it's just good energy. It's good vibes. People feel welcome. And then they then give off that same energy, and then that goes, and then that goes, and that goes. And for the most part, like people were just bringing good people in there. And so it kind of just, I feel like the strength of the vibes in there continually grew the more that we brought people in. because we were only kind of bringing in people that were creative and that were like good people for the most part. Like there weren't really like, I mean, any kind of bad vibes in there for the most part. In all the iterations of the room, it kind of weeds itself out, and it just is like, that's what we're about, is creating and having fun and trying shit out, you know? And so I think that was the biggest pleasant surprise, but I think it's something that all of us learned pretty early, that like, that's the power of this shit, is whatever this vibe is that everybody's feeling, and the fact that they feel this welcome in here, and how that reflects in the art that they create. That's the sweet spot. That's the thing that is the really special thing about this.
That's what's up, man.
I'm with you.
So listen, I was gonna go further with some more questions about what you're doing with the rest of your life, but I'm gonna let Dame. I'm gonna toss it back to Dame. But before I do that, Dame, I just want to give my tequila toast to my man Eric, man, out there, and you know. And with that, I'm gonna toss it back to Dame to pick up from here, man.
Oh man, thanks, Mike. I appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? Yes, it was a great toss. See, I'm getting the lingo and everything. But let's talk about some music. We all were tasked to listen to a couple of albums over the last week, and this should be fun. So there were 3 albums, right? J-Dog, you want to take it away?
Yeah.
Let's J-Dog do it.
First, Buju. So I listened to Buju driving home from my session on Saturday, which, first of all, I got to work with Opera Steve, this opera singer and hip hop who has a bunch of
ooh, we should listen to his record.
Cameron and like a whole bunch of classic tracks.
Opera Steve?
Opera Steve?
Super.
Put him on the list for next week.
Right?
It was kind of a songwriting session. It was super fun. Anyway, listen to it on the way home on the drive back, like really loud, driving in the car. Like I felt like it was meant to be listened to. But to be honest, I never listened to Buju before, and I know he's like a classic artist, but this is, outside my listening typically. So I liked it. I liked Blessed a lot, and I really liked the Bob Marley cover, which I now sing to myself like in the last week. Like, yes, me friend. But
yeah.
I talked to Mike a little bit about it. How you think, bro? What'd you think of the Buju one?
Well, Buju, Bless is a class. I like Bless.
Yeah.
Overall, though, it came across to me as a old man just came out of jail album. You know what I'm saying? Like the energy on it, like the gospel songs and the missing women songs. And I get it. And I get it. What do you want me to tell you? Like, I'm the old school Buju guy. Like, I'm the 90s Buju. You know what I'm saying? Like, 90s Buju. So I heard Blessed. So I heard the single Blessed. And, like, I've been rocking with Blessed for, like, the last couple weeks.
What up?
And then when you took me to the
man been 10 years in jail, man.
That rest of that, I don't listen. That's not my issue, Dane.
How about Trust?
Trust was good too. But overall, I probably walked away with like 3-4 songs that I might go back to, right? I'm just saying, overall, as a whole album, I won't listen to the whole album cover to cover again. I did it for the show, but the album is a singles album to me. He's got like 3 singles on there that I can rock to. You know what I'm saying? That's where I'm at with him. You know what I'm saying? Like the old Buju albums, I put it in, I go from first song to the last song. This one, I'm like, the gospel and I get it, but I'm like, it's not really my thing anymore, man. Like
changed man.
Yeah.
I get that he's a changed man, but I'm not a changed man. I'm the same friggin' raggedy cat that was partying with him in the little basement reggae spots back in the 90s. I just got kids and a wife now. That's
a change.
You want to hear that same shit?
I want to say that same thing, man. I want that, you know what I mean? That grimy, reggae, that, you know what I mean, dance all that I'm in here for, man. I don't want to hear that I'm blessed, I got a new life, I died and came back. I'm not hearing that. I'm not here for that.
You don't want to hear about Unity?
He's born again.
Oh yeah, Unity is good, but I don't want to hear it as a ballad.
Wow.
That's all I'm saying. I don't want to hear it as a ballad. I need
hear about Unity?
Full. Here's the problem with me.
So you do want gunshots?
No. I don't want the gunshots.
In between gunshots.
Unless it's for revolution. I'm down with the gunshots for revolution. I don't just want to hear the gunshots for the sake of gunshots.
Talking about revolution.
Yes,
that's all I'm
but
saying.
I just want to hear it with more energy. That's all.
Okay.
I just need him to turn the energy up for me. Like I get, I don't need a dozer. I don't need ballads. Yes, I need the bogle. Exactly. I need the bogle in the dance. That's all I'm saying, and I'm not bogling to that.
Oh, man,
it was a lot of feels. Was it?
For me, Trust was the one.
What's that?
For me, Trust was like it was the first record that I heard off the album, and it was like that's the one that really drew me in. And it was like, I got to check it out. But yeah, I mean, he's older.
I get it.
10 years in jail? Like, come on.
Yeah, man.
I get it, man. That's what it felt like. It felt like 10 years in jail.
Huh?
Like he felt like 10 years in jail. He talked about missing women. He talked about being reborn. He talked about so I get it.
Okay.
Where it was coming from.
Got that vibe. He ain't got that vibe.
I'm not in that space. I didn't spend. Fortunately, I didn't spend 10 years in jail.
Nice.
Fortunately, I didn't have to go 10 years without having sex and a hug of a woman. So I can't relate to that.
Damn. All right.
That's all I'm saying.
Eric,
don't want that ratchet shit. We get it.
Eric, what do you think?
To be honest, I feel like I didn't listen to it the way I should have listened to it. I like
you want to beat through it.
I know. Like,
what the hell interrupt the day?
They provide the music. You know what I'm saying? I don't need to listen to music here because it's here for me. You know
Who do you got a tip?
Oh wow, bro.
No, but I'm curious. Listen, I'm curious, Dame, how you felt about the Pharrell joint.
I mean, I fuck with Pharrell. I love what Pharrell
does. Oh, Pharrell produced the joint on there?
Yeah. I mean, I liked all of it. Was it the best album? No, but it was a vibe for me. No. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I appreciated like him singing.
His voice sounds.
Yeah, I wasn't there for that.
You said what?
I wasn't there for the singing, man.
You wasn't there for the singing?
Yeah, I just need him chanting. Just chant, man. Just go, man. Just give me that energy, man.
No growth.
Nah, not me.
All right.
What was next?
What's next, Jason?
Boss, you want to talk about Kush Jones?
Okay.
Jones?
Did I listen to that? Was it just beats?
House John, yeah, strictly for my.
Yeah, it was just beats.
Yeah. That's the same thing. You got me with that too. It was just music. It was just beats.
Yeah. So Kush Jones is a producer, DJ from Jersey. Makes Jersey club music. I really like this. It's short, but I really like this project a lot because I felt like he kind of pulled from other influences from around the world and kind of fused it into some Jersey club shit, which is cool. So I don't know. How'd y'all feel about it? Y'all listen to it?
I've got a clip of a track that we can play.
Yeah, run a clip to remind everybody.
So this track's called Need Some Room. And I think it's kind of what you're talking about. It's a cool, more organic loop.
Yeah.
Like this, John. I'll play a bit of it here.
Tell you. So
yeah,
I listened to it, right?
Yeah.
And I talked to YaYa as well, and she had just listened to it. And I listened to it, and sometimes I listen to, I like in a weird way, I listen to music for like function. Like, where am I going to hear this at? You know what I'm saying? Like, where am I going to hear this at? Like, in the world, like, right? And I was like, yo, it sounds like you're walking into a cool hotel in Miami, right? Yep. Or like in some like, you know, it's like, it's the music that's playing real low, and like, no disrespect to like the music or anything, but like, it's like, you know, you're walking into the swanky lobby, you know what I'm saying? And if this shit is on, you're like, oh, my
they ain't called the swanky lobby music. Swanky lobby music, but that's what it is. That's what it sounds like.
And that's what's on down here a lot too. You know, it's like that. It's like house, but it's not really house. It's like got this other eclectic vibe to it. You know what I mean?
Or
I could see
the popping elevator.
Yeah.
Like, so no matter what time you come in, it's like the music's up and you're like, I'm going to bed. You're like, you know what I mean? It's like,
think you want to go downstairs and see if the club is popping still in the hotel.
Yes. Check that 11th floor. You know what I mean?
Well, Noah loved it. My son loved it. I need words.
Nice.
You know, I'm a words person, but he plays so much video games and all the music is about beats. He like searches for beats. He's not searching for music with words because you can't use it on those things. And so I had first played the last half of Buju, and then I launched into this, and he just came to life this afternoon. I mean,
nice. That's awesome.
That's
completely loved it, and I was like, I feel like I need words. He was like, I don't. He was going with it, and so
nice.
Is that meant to like listen to from beginning to end, or like what do you?
I guess so.
That was tough to do.
I think it's also for DJs.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. I think it's more as a producer who's, you know, normally put in the box of being a DJ.
Yeah.
Because it's how all this music is represented. You know, I think it's probably a way to show that you have more depth than just, hey, I got this remix, I have this one dance song. It's like, hey, I have, you know, I got a whole EP. And like I said, you know, it's like listening to it, and Worldly Rhythm was the one I really, really liked off of that. And it's like, it kind of confirmed for me that like he was pulling from these, you know, these different influences and just trying to make it feel like it's some sort of Jersey club thing, you know.
Did you listen to it, Chris?
No.
I just caught what we played.
Yeah. So
what's your thought on just what we played just now? What's your thought? Just your thought on just what you heard just now?
It was cool. I liked it. You know what I mean? It's like time and place for me on some of that. I mean, I can see the Miami hotel vibe, but my first thought was definitely just like smoky North Philly warehouse that I may or may not be on drugs in. You know what I mean? Like that's
what I was thinking. Like, do I gotta?
I mean, it's like an underground
party.
Like, yeah, just like, I mean, yeah, exactly. Just like
do you gotta drop acid to enjoy this?
I mean, not even that. Yeah. But I think it's enjoyable. It was just like
it wasn't. No, I didn't mind it.
The place that my brain went wasn't quite the swanky Miami hotel, but I can see though how it would be that though too at the same time. So you know, it's dope. I liked it, man.
And listen again. That's what I was.
There you go.
Yeah, right.
And really, for me,
a different experience.
I made the mistake of I went to the album, but then I just hit play, and Apple Music like ran. It said EP, and then I realized I was like 12 songs in. I was like, there's no way this is an EP. So it put a bunch of his music.
Oh,
and
wow.
so
you went in.
I was driving, so I just let it rock, and I'm waiting for the album to end. And I'm like, dude, this is the longest EP I've ever heard in my life. This is always like I'm like 15 songs in on this thing.
Mike low key loved it.
Yeah.
and I was
writing music.
What's that?
Like also driving music too, right?
Correct. But I was on it like you, YaYa. I was like, yo, there's no words. I'm kind of a word guy. Like after 2 songs of just listen to beats, and I know like from a producer's perspective, so maybe from Jay's perspective or from Eve's perspective or even Dame's perspective, like they hear music different when you're a producer because you hear the instrumentation, you hear all that stuff, you hear all the effort that goes into creating the beat.
So these
right?
this is pretty minimal, but I can listen to it and enjoy the minimalist change that's going on in this track because I've made.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. You see it from a different. You see it kind of different. It's kind of like even when my man explained baseball to me, I'm like, baseball bores me. He's like, you got to watch the pitcher. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody else is just standing around waiting to see what happens after the pitcher throws the ball. You know, and it's kind of like the same. That's how I felt about it. Like I was waiting for something to happen. If not that it was bad, like the first couple songs, I'm like, okay, I'm digging it. Yeah, like, but would I listen to a whole album of this? You know what I'm saying? Like,
well, apparently you did.
I did it because it was an assignment.
Well, there's the thing, man. Throw in a baseball game and throw that album on in the background, man. That sounds good.
You know what I'm saying? It was but that being said,
yeah,
he was of like completeness of a project. I felt like his project, like for that EP, was probably it was most comprehensive and complete to me. You know what I'm saying? Like if I was into that for a whole album, it wasn't a bad album. You know what I mean? I was a house music cat for a little while, so it kind of gave me that throwback to 80s house music. You know what I know, but does anybody really make good house music now? I don't know. I'm asking.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Because I'm still stuck back with Devotion.
Mike.
Someone you can trust. Devotion. That's why I'm still stuck there. Yeah, I don't know what to tell you.
Mike, there's awesome house music out there. It just doesn't come on cassette anymore. So you gotta
that's part of the problem too.
You gotta get on a playlist.
Like I don't know, and you don't know the names of any house music songs, so you can't look for them. You just hear them, when you hear them, and then I don't know nothing. So here, YaYa, do me a favor. Send me a house music playlist.
Okay, I could do that.
Because I was 80s, mid 80s, I was house music to death. Like I thought hip hop was gonna go away. You know what I mean? Like I had the long trench coats, I had the big shoes, the pre-Doc Martens. You know what I'm saying? Like
hey, Mike.
I was all the way in.
Whoa.
I was stomping. I was all the way in. And that's where this took me. So I was like, all right, I'll rock with this for a minute. It's kind of nostalgic.
This would be an awesome transition in a Fiona Apple. So J-Dog.
Let's talk about it.
So we also looked a little back to Fetch the Bolt Cutters from Fiona Apple, which is, we talked a little bit about this when we were discussing it earlier. It was like one of the first albums big national artists to drop early in the pandemic, and to me will always kind of be part of this, of looking back at that album, will be the memory of that in this time. And so I don't know. What'd you guys think? I really am a big Fiona Apple fan. It's been a while. We rock some 90s playlists while we're making dinner here, and Kate and I both enjoy some Fiona Apple. So I thought it was cool to get some new stuff, and I'm a fan. So what'd y'all think?
It made me moody. I walked away feeling like sassy and feisty and surly. I don't know if I was mad or happy or mad. I don't know. I was just moody.
Sure, it's a moody album.
It's very moody. And I listened to it when it first came out, and I tried to go back again, and it was like, I don't want to feel this way. I mean, I know this is like Lilith Fair. This is all, it's like sassy. It's...
Did you just say Lilith Fair?
Yeah,
she did.
Yeah, that's exactly what she said, and she's 100% correct.
Between mention of
correct.
Between mention of Lilith Fair and then Mike's image of the Doc Martin trench coat, two things like that. I got a lot of imagery in my head right now.
Lilith Fair.
I swear to God.
Fiona Apple was post Lilith Fair.
I mean, it's a little similar to Kush. Like, I listen to it as a producer, and I really love, she does really cool tonal shit and is really experimental with all of her production. So to me, it's not just about like what she's even saying with the songs. Like when I listen to her music, like she comes at it very experimentally and has kind of defined like a sound from it now that other people do. Oh, you want the Fiona Apple sound? It's a way to like kind of rock piano thing that people do now. So it's part of it.
Did she work with a producer on this, Jason, or no?
You know, I'm not sure.
I know she did it out of her house.
Does she play piano?
Yeah.
Like, I'm not familiar.
So my first introduction to Fiona Apple was her first album title. I got it for, it was on sale for $6.99, the CD. That like, what was that record shop where you can
Tower?
No, what? Not Tower. It was like
Sam Goody?
It was like 3 letters. Like I want to say eight. It was like
FYE.
No,
FYE.
That was later. That was later.
It was like HMB or something random. It was just in the city, and you can like listen to the music before, and like it had like a bunch of places you can listen. And I bought it for like $7, and I was like blown away. I've been a fan since. I've probably seen her live like 2 or 3 times. I think she's amazing, and I kind of took a break in between like the first 3, and I'm not sure how many even she's done since then. But it was super refreshing to hear her, like to hear that record during COVID, to hear somebody being super experimental, the sonics of it, like you said, it was in her house. It seemed like it, dogs barking, just like the room. You can hear like the room, you know what I mean, around. I thought that was awesome. And but like YaYa said, it's definitely like feisty as fuck. You know what I'm saying? Like it's definitely like
you gotta be in the mood for it.
Yeah, it was.
You got to.
And it
Change your mood. It's that powerful. It will change your mood.
But I feel it like a overcoming obstacles feisty, like underestimated, like kind of like feisty.
Y'all guys are way too understanding for me, man. Because it was way too hipster for me. Her vocals. Musically, sound like the first song with that big piano and all of that, I was like, okay, I'm rocking with this, right? And then when she started singing, and the words on every song almost is like, yo, she's like a mad woman. Like, she's just pissed off. And I'm like, I'm not, you know, like she's been heartbroken and disgruntled and men did her bad and all of that. And I understand that goes on in the world. You know what I'm saying? But like, I'm not in that space. You know what I mean? My wife is happy, I think. You know what I'm saying? So I don't, you know what I mean? Whether it's a man singing about women doing them wrong or women singing about men doing them wrong, it's hard for me to connect to those lyrics.
So you don't want to hear old people out of jail, and you don't want to hear like women with any kind of like issue.
No, not you know, not unless you. No, that's not true. Like I don't mind it if it's like 1 song, 2 songs. I just don't want to hear it for a whole album. Is all I'm saying. But sonically, like I really like the piano. I like the instrumentation of the album. I thought it was really good, and so I stayed with it through the whole album. It was just the lyrics on almost every song. It was like, yeah, that's the dress that his ex-wife left that I used to wear. That leave it in the closet song. I'm like, what is the hell is he talking about? Like
yeah.
You know, it's just too much. Like, if you dating a man who got his ex-girl's dress still in the closet and he's not with you anymore and he's with somebody else and you telling her that that's the ex-girl's dress, dude, you got a problem. Like, why didn't you tell him to get rid of that dress?
Wow. You're being real judgmental, man.
It was too much. It was too much. Like, get that deep in this kind of energy, you know? So that's all it was. And I felt like it was a reflection of kind of like the energy that's in the world now. Like, dude, y'all take on too much baggage. Shake some of that baggage. And that's how the album felt like to me. It felt like to me as a woman who was carrying too much baggage, shake some of your baggage, you could be a happier person.
Okay.
Whoa.
I'm just going to jump in there.
Thank you. Thank you.
Come on.
I'm going to say.
I know I opened myself up.
I said what I said about the album, but
I know I opened myself up.
The act of the creative expression, right? And her creating this album is actually her shaking off some of the baggage.
Thank you.
That might be the case. That might be the case.
All I want to say.
You might be 100% correct. You might be 100% correct on that. I can accept that.
Be said.
I can accept that. I can accept that.
I thought she said she did say a lot of deep stuff on the album. I really enjoyed the evil is a relay sport when the one who burns it turns to pass the torch. And she took it to relationship wise, but like just at its concept, you know, like with all the stuff we're going through, you think about like with each generation, like people teaching their kids and how to treat each other. And like, you know, we've talked about like hoping that it, you know, arcing towards good and equality and unity.
I think,
but, you know, like it's important how people turn and pass that on to their kids and keep that shit going themselves after they've been hurt, you know.
I think the writing was super clever, like super clever. Like like if you appreciate anything about hip hop or bars, like I think she had a lot of like super cleverly written songs that were like wow, the fact that you like you said, it was really deep and heavy, right? But it was like, there was an easy way to say that, but you took the way that really is going to like hit that nerve to make Mike mad and not want to hear it.
True. And you're right.
So what I'm getting is that it was a really good album, but it just shook you to the core, and that's not what you want to spend your all time listening to.
Correct. See, it was a good album, no question. It was a good album, and if you look at it from that perspective, like what Jay said, she was very clever in her writing. The songs were produced very well. I mean, I don't know how many instruments she plays or what role she played in producing the tracks. I thought the album was good. It was. I thought
it had soul.
Yes,
it had a lot of soul.
Too much. It was too much of that unhappy with the world music.
She sounded content to me. I'm just saying, like,
yeah, that's all.
Mike,
on her way.
Mike didn't like it. We get it.
I didn't say I didn't like it. I'm just saying I probably won't revisit it. It's another one of them albums where I can listen to one or two songs, but then I got to check out because it just stays in that space for too long for me. You know what I'm saying? I need you to come out of that space every now and again and do something different. And give me that's all it was.
I guess that was our music review. You know what I'm saying? Eric, any words with you on that one?
No, I was going to add in when you were saying, or Jason had brought up her cleverness, and then you had mentioned the hip hop, you know, element of, you know what I mean, some of her lines. I feel like she always really been that way though, right?
Always. Since the beginning.
But I do appreciate y'all telling me to go listen to her.
Yes, go listen to the first album title.
Yeah, I'll go check out. I will go visit some of her older work.
The first one first.
Takes me, yeah, because I think I thought it was produced well. I really enjoyed the instrumentation. Like that's an album I could have listened to without the words.
I don't know, guys. It might piss me.
If we were looking for some listen to that album straight instrumental, that would have been a great album.
You want to watch some more?
All right,
yeah. So I mean, in honor of our music review, we're gonna go to this next clip. And this clip will be a music selection by Chill Moody, video creative.
Oh my God!
Chris White.
Oh my God!
I love
It's called TV Made Me Do It. We did this. We shot this in
It says TV Made Me Do It sample too. By the way, this is
I know it's perfect. Just to let people know how raw it is.
Yeah, I mean, you're really digging in the crates on the
how raw it is.
Yeah, I guess so, bro.
There's a bit at the end where it's like, logo here.
Huh?
The silver lining in between every line of every lie that's told. You waste your time trying to find the mold. Trust I broke that as soon as I broke that. Do the right thing like Sal and let the dope stack. Famous, but most hated once they heard the sound. Tried to build a bridge for the kids, they rather burn me down. Nah, sipping Remy, that's how you're learning. Said the game died, I spent my weekends out at Bernie's. Went from self-doubt upon entering my journey to Chianti's and other nice things with my attorney. We both waiting on a verdict. Told you stay determined, you gon' get what you deserving. I said he light with them dishes that he's serving. I'm chefing up bars, no service. Wonder what they call that. Go. And we gon' do it like I got one on each arm right now. I'm feeling like Jack Trippin', you know what I mean? Welcome to my house where anything's possible. Drinking is a must, and clothing is optional. We live that less or more life. We party all night, quickly tipsy like Nipsey. We yell, well, alright, yo, fill my drink up. A cool case of golden monkeys filled the sink up. My people tripping, said they hate how much we drink, but a bottle of Jameson is a must once we link up. To shake the city up, praise them. Every scripture's off the Richter. They mundane, I run game, the commissioner. Make this shot, let's believe we going Sizzler. Chestnut checkers, understand my position. Your girl watching, I'll target your queen. I'm Bobby Fischer. Lyrical barbarian, awkward style, still bury him, Sean Marion.
Dude.
God.
Yo.
Blown away, always.
He's so good, man.
So good.
He's so friggin' good, man.
Who, Chris or Chill Moody?
Well, I meant Chris.
I'm talking about Chill Moody. But Chris is good too.
Yes, you're so creative.
It was good though. I like the little 3 company throw in. Like, dude, you're pretty sharp with it, man.
Oh my God.
You know.
That was, I mean, as you saw, we never finished that shit. It was just, that was a lot of work, man. That was time, like, yeah, this is a dope idea, but like, you know, we spray painted the TVs green and all that. It was, to that point even was just like, bro, this is so much fucking work.
It took a minute to get the TVs, I remember.
We were like driving around North Philly trying to pick up used TVs just on the side of the street, like just in the area of the first tiny room.
I think that's something all of us as artists can attest to is like you learn to do this, that at the beginning you have big ideas and you think it can be done really quickly and easily and oh my God, it's just going to happen. And as you get better at it, you really learn how much work it's going to take and you figure out you can do it.
For sure.
As a from a
ideas at first, you know.
Yeah. But we did it though. I mean, I think that was in the spirit of the first tiny room more than anything. More than any of them was just like, we're just gonna try some shit.
Yeah.
And from a videographer's perspective, man, I just appreciate the effort to match your pictures to the words.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of times you see videos or you see productions and they're talking about something and the visuals don't match what they're talking about because lack of effort or whatever the reason is that it doesn't happen. You know what I'm saying? So the energy that, and I don't know if people really appreciate the energy that goes into paying that close attention to make sure to try to have your eyes see what your ears are hearing.
Right.
So I chose that clip because one, like Chris said, it was a testament to that first year in 2014 where we're just trying everything. And we had a mixed bag of like a lot of different things that we were trying. And it was like, okay, and let's do some videos too, right? You know what I'm saying? And it was like the most doable, incredible idea we can think of. Like the most like, how can we do that? You know what I'm saying? In reason kind of idea. And that was just a testament to that. And also, it was a young Chill Moody, you know, and just a testament to like other artists that like were just like, I'm with it. Yeah, let's do it. Let's shoot a video. Let's like, you know what I mean? Like come up with the concept. Let's like, you know what I mean? So,
right.
Chris is any consolation, Chris. Every time I see Chill Moody, I forget who he is too. I ran into him at Made in America last summer, maybe it was last summer. And he was like, yo, Mike, man, every time you meet me, you introduce yourself to me. I was like, damn, I met you before.
Right. I have the same thing with me too, man. It's bad. I'm with you, bro. It's all good.
Like the video wasn't finished, but I just thought it was like a representation of like, yo. And then there was this idea, you know what I'm saying, that that we were trying to accomplish in less than a month's time.
For sure. So, and we ended up using some of the footage for some of the trailer stuff, and like it was used for sure in a couple of different ways. It's just the green screen, like you know, bootleg Forrest Gump nature of it was not, you know, it was just too much, man.
Whose idea was the video?
Mine.
The concept, yours?
Mine. He had a project, so I'd worked with Chill on a couple of other videos before this. So that's like all this stuff was kind of just within within the network and the family, so to speak. So, but he had a project with Wes Manchild called TV Made Me Do It, I think is what it was called. And it was all old TV samples. And so it was like, all right, we'll try to say, yeah, man, we'll just pick up a bunch of old TVs and then we'll spray paint them green and we'll do all this stuff. And like, we did it and it was there, but it was like a lot of those shots, like to even get it like halfway all right, it was a lot of hours put into just trying to do it because it was, it's still in the earlier days too. I mean, we're doing this in 2014. And so just trying to get it even halfway decent was like, yeah, it was a big lift. So, but I'm happy that we did it though, man. It's crazy though that Dame picked that one out of all the shit.
Dude, you can drop that today and it looked like a throwback intentional.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, the funny part is that it's just like, it's like when they screen the movies and there'll be like a big, Marvel movie or some shit. And it's like they screen the movies for the audience testing it before they add in all the green screen spaceship shit. So it's just like, the actors in a blue void kind of reacting to this stuff as if it's happening. And that's like what, it's the Chill Moody version of that with like him in front of a bunch of spray painted green old TVs and stuff. It's just some weird time capsule again. So, so happy to see it.
Nice.
So Chris, what have you been up to like during this whole COVID time? Like I think I saw you like right in the beginning of it.
Yeah.
Like randomly getting a hard drive. Like, yo, you good? You good? All right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, what have you been up to?
Yeah, we passed off I passed a hard drive to like under a bridge with the rain pouring down in the midst of a pandemic. It was like some
weird, baggie, we had on gloves.
Yeah, some weird CIA type of shit. I was like, the world is really ending. Dame pulled up with a mask on, but yeah, man, I've been good, man. I've been good. I've been trying to. I think like everybody, just trying to hang on and be as productive as you can be. For yourself and kind of trying to just get through it. But it's been good, man. I mean, I've had some projects and kind of dialing some stuff back and doing some stuff for myself. And it's been fun. I've been working with Max Swan a bit on some of the stuff for his new project he's working on. I've been working with, Beachside International Boss down there with
I just realized we have a location. We got a location change.
Yeah, location change. Light work. So, been working on some stuff with just people within the network. I mean, like before even COVID happened, I was trying to kind of make a switch to doing things that were a little bit smaller and a little bit more self-contained, and just trying to be able to just work more consistently and creatively and kind of get off things that maybe are a little bit of a lighter lift. I feel like I'd spent a bunch of years trying to just like bigger productions, get more people involved and try to make it, get it up to the next level. And that's great. But at the same time, it just like, it was ended up being only doing a couple things a year at that level. So just trying to downsize, and then COVID happened and then everybody's downsizing like crazy. So it's been good though, man. I've been trying to just stay productive as I can and also not, hold myself to a crazy standard. I feel like everybody at this point, man, we're all kind of just getting through it. So, it's been good.
Good. So, boss is changing again. What happened? He's going?
Boss checked out on us, man. He's like, I'm at the beach, man. I ain't got time for y'all, man.
That's the place where there was the Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Like, I'm doing the beach, man. Y'all can play if y'all want.
He got greedy, man. He wanted to show off where he was at.
Post now.
Now he's coming back early. Oh man. So yeah, we thought it would be cool just to watch some videos and talk like old school Tiny Room for Elephants. I think like for me, like I think a lot of people don't know like the history and like, and how things kind of evolve. So it's good to have somebody that can explain it and talk through it with.
The Tiny Room for Elephants. You take all the elephants of the room, the people that stand out, the people that are doing stuff, the people that excel in a certain area, and you bring them into a small space and you say, whatever you want to do it in this space. Let how big you are exceed the space. The space isn't going to hold you in. The idea of the Arat came directly from a pigeon because I went through a bunch of legal issues, health issues. One day I was just hanging out in Britain House with a friend of mine, and you're looking at these pigeons, and all of a sudden you start noticing, oh, there's one without a foot. That one's wings behind its head. And you realize it doesn't matter, they'll still get up, they'll fly away. They're still rolling around, they're still hanging out with everybody. It dealt with it, it figured out how to deal with life with it, and they kept it moving. So these are only my issues, and if I can deal with them, then they don't become me. Most of the projects I approach, I try and go towards it with about 30% of an idea. This process with this process over that, with a layer effect here, a color vibration here, and in stacking those processes, it gives you range to adapt like on hand. I'm finally, for once in my life, trying to be like, okay, if these are the things you're doing them all the time, and they all need to be intertwined. So if I was doing something over here in graffiti, I'm taking that method and going, I'm gonna apply that to wood cutting, to installation work. This installation work can apply to sticker work. Like, just finally all feels like it's like wrapping together and becoming one. Philadelphia, as far as graffiti goes, which is its main influence on me, stays true to, you know, hand styles and its basic graffiti forms before anything else. You have to be across the board with everything. You can't just show up and go, oh, I can do this. No, you have to have that hand, that hand, that hand, that hand, and be able to do a piece, and be able to do a character, and be able to like do it all on command. Tiny rooms for elephants. I mean, it's crazy because it's not like, hey, I'm doing this piece and it's gonna be cool and it's gonna be a wall and people are gonna come and hang out, have a party. It's like, no, there's so much other stuff happening in this room. This space isn't just about the walls, it's about what's going on in the space, the interaction with people. Larger than life characters coming together in a very small space and trying to fill it with creativity.
Yo, Dave, man, real quick before you get started, thank you, man.
What?
Thank you for picking these clips, man. Like, this is like, I hadn't seen this stuff, man. And I know this is to celebrate Chris, but I'm like, yo, like, I'm getting a little tiny room history that I didn't know about. And like, I'm like, dude, they've been dope all along, man. Like, they didn't just get dope yesterday. Like, they was doing fly shit that, like, this stuff could be today. And it's 6 years old.
Yeah, so I mean, like, I picked that clip because it was like, you know, it was one of our artist vignettes. Like, every artist that came in, like we were there, we were, you know what I mean, documenting them. We were doing random shit. Like, you know, like, it was, like he said, it was so much going on in that room. Like, at the same time that, like, you know, like, it was so much going on, and it was like so much happening. It was like, so, and also you could speak to Dave Weeks too, because, you know, it's the homie, right? It's the bro.
Definitely the homie, man. Shout out to Dave, or Arat, the artist formerly known as Arat. Yeah, man. I mean, that's the craziest part. Like, with a lot of it, I mean, he was wearing. I forgot that he held up the magnifying. That was his idea. That was
so dope. I was about to ask you where that came from. If that was your idea,
that was Arat's idea. He had something. And that's what I mean. Like, it was like, all this was kind of like a laboratory. Like, I was looking at some of the photos and like some of the footage and stuff, and like, that was his idea because he didn't want to show his face.
Yeah.
And fly move, man.
No, it was really cool. I mean, we saw immediately, it was like, oh no, this is going to be really cool. And, you know, the spray painting, all that stuff, it feels like, watching those first tiny rooms, they really do feel like a laboratory, man. Like, we were really testing out and trying out a lot of stuff. And, you know, shout out to Dave and all the kind of that first group of artists, and definitely Dave. Like, he was just always about that, you know what I mean? Like, he's like, yeah, you know, it'd be dope as if, like, I wear the mask, but then I spray paint myself, you know, with it. And I was like, oh no, we can do that. We can do it in slow motion, like do all these different things.
Like, I remember I wasn't there, but I think you just sent me like footage of it. And I was like,
I did.
What?
Yeah. Well, that was the thing on like a day-to-day basis. It was like, yeah, look at like, you know, look at what just happened in here. Like, what the fuck is this? You know, I remember I saw like one of the clips, his man had like some weird crown that he had made for himself. Did you see it? Like, there's all sorts of weird stuff happening there, man. It was just like, all right, well, but that was the vibe and the energy. And it's weird looking at a lot of those too. Also, I think like acknowledging the importance of a lot of those first batch of artists and people that were there, in the sense that they kind of like what he said about his experience with Tiny Room informed more about what it would end up being. And I think for like a lot of the people that went to the next Tiny Room and then the Tiny Room after that, like a lot of these were kind of used to show people like, hey, like this is some shit that's going on here. But I remember like doing the interview with him and him being like, yeah, man, that's that, because we're always constantly struggling to just talk about it ourselves. But the fact that people felt this passionate about it, or this like this type of energy from the space, using the stuff that they said about it to then like inform the next batch of people, and then they say something about it and whatever. So that's one of the things where it's just like, bro, that was super early in December 2014, but like how spot on he is with a bunch of that stuff is crazy. So yeah, shout out to Dave Weeks, man. Or is it Dave Weeks or David Weeks? What is he going by?
Dave.
All right. Cool.
Yeah. So yeah, Mike, I thought it would be good to like go back and like watch some of these clips with you guys, especially like with Chris. Also, it's the thing that like it's hard for me to explain like why like say me and YaYa make such quick decisions on some things, and people are like, well, what about it? It's like, nah, you know what I'm saying? Not feeling it. Nah, can't do that. You know what I'm saying? Because like there are these like
already been there.
These hitting like kind of like kind of like rules that we kind of like stick to.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? And a lot of it, you know, it's artists first, because we were all artists. Not just artists, but we were artists. We were like production, event coordinators. Like we were all those things professionally that were like, yo, if we could do it our way, we would do it this way. You know what I'm saying? Like if we want to like stand for artists, then we're going to stand for artists the whole way. You know what I'm saying? And so we got to do that all the way through, right? You know what I'm saying? If we want, you know what I mean? So it just became these like little hidden things that sometimes I felt like that it's a level of understanding like of like the things that like have happened that we're like, oh, nah, that's not going to work, because we fell on our face like a bunch of times. And I think in some of the falling on our faces was like were like the most beautiful things that you would ever see. Like, oh, that was interesting, and that worked out. You know what I mean? So like, yeah. So Mike, what did you think? Like just like not being,
dude. It really it solidified, like this episode and watching those clips from 2014 really solidified what I already thought and felt about Tiny Room. You know what I'm saying? Like that energy, like of just this. And I had this conversation with Sepper at the holiday party about how, and then when I mentioned it earlier about how, like, to be around, like I'd never really considered myself an artist. You know what I mean? I've just been a videographer. I became a videographer when I started looking for work. This is where they gave me work. I was a TV major in college, and I would have taken any job that they gave me. They gave me a job and handed me a camera. I became a videographer. So for a long time, I only looked at what I did as a job, right? Part of hanging out with y'all made me look at what I do as being an artist, right? And then being put in a community of phenomenal artists who got great energy, because sometimes artists could be flat out assholes. You know what I'm saying? But to be around a bunch of people who want to support you and want to grow with you and want to watch what you do blossom as you watch what they do blossom, and let's bring all these pieces together and see if we can blossom together. you know what I'm saying, was like, damn, man, this is a dope group of people to be around. But then to realize that has been the energy from day one, like watching these videos, lets me see that that's been the energy from day one. Like, it wasn't something that was cultivated over time and that's what it became. This is something that was like, yo, man, we've been doing this since we started this, man. You know what I'm saying? And we've just made it better. You know,
J-Dog, that was your first time seeing that, right?
That was my first time seeing that.
What did you?
I loved it. I love seeing that. But he has another artist profile from the next year that I have seen, so it's kind of, I haven't seen a lot of the inside stuff from that year. These old clips, so it's good. I mean, as to Tiny Room, like, it's cool to hear, Chris, you say that like, even what Air Rat was saying kind of became part of the vision and like concept. And like, I see that continue, you know, like through the years here where like, it's, yeah, like there are the core, YaYa, Dame, like Eric, you guys, the core people are driving it, but it really is an artist collective, and that the spirit of it is everyone's experience through it and what they bring to each year. And we talked a little bit about it earlier, about it kind of weeding itself out, but like, it is kind of a good vibes only environment. And if you're not really there for that, people don't stick around too long, you know, and all of our experiences like build on what it is. And it's also cool to see it, you know, carrying on in this weird way during these, like just next generation making a new video, like reviewing these old ones. But yeah, it's good to see this old stuff.
No doubt. Chris, thank you, man.
Yeah.
No, thank you,
man. Thank you for hanging out with us today, man. Thank you for the work that you did, man. And you know what I mean? You're a phenomenal shooter. I mean, I'm judging it off of what I've seen, because I started following you because I don't know some of your current work. But dude, you've been sharp, man.
Thanks, man.
So, you know, I'm just assuming that.
You've been shot. Boss, was that your first time seeing that?
Oh, jeez. What are you, underwater? What the hell are you doing? Can't nobody understand what the hell you're saying, man.
I'm sorry, the tropic breezes are a little
yeah.
Okay.
Mexico has said I've been working too long. I got to check out on
you. You got greedy.
What do you think, looking back at that? I think you've seen those videos before, right?
Of course. It made me think like, well, we need to get back to the artist vignettes. I think it's really unique to see somebody actually like going through their process. It's like a little sneak peek. I mean, of course, the words are beautiful. For me, it's very sentimental. I love to have an archive of all of this stuff. So I'm just so thankful that it's beautifully and well done.
Hey, real quick, is Eric on a date?
We're interrupting his vacation, man. We interrupted his vacation, man. Like, hurry up and wrap this show up, man. I got the beach behind me.
Are you on a date, man? Huh? I think Eric's on a date, yo. Like, jeez. So rude.
I love how he can hear us, but he can't say anything.
But he can't talk back, correct?
He's actually on a date. Like, is the woman in the background?
Yeah, tell her to come over to the camera.
Tell her to come over to the thing. Oh, no love.
And he's like, nah.
Don't put my man out there like that. So, J-Dog, you got a tip for us?
Yeah, I do.
Take us out with something sweet, Jay.
What usually happens is J-Dog plays us out. I'm the only one that calls him J-Dog for now. Hopefully they'll catch on. And everybody will call him J-Dog. And we'll call him J-Dog. And
we've been seeing you trying throughout the course of the podcast, man. Yeah. The campaign is on.
I always feel like Jay take us to church before the show. It's like, you know what I mean? The collection plate gonna come around. One last time before we check out.
We are now officially a worldwide
international
telecast, man.
Yeah.
International boss.
All we gotta do is really just
I was thinking it.
get with NASA and you be like intergalactic, and then we take over the world.
I ain't going to Mars, but I'll go to a space station when they build it.
I don't know. I've seen too many scary movies.
Yeah, I ain't going to the space station either, man.
Space station, something always happens. Something
man.
Water comes through.
And it's not the getting there; it's the coming back.
That's true too. Coming back.
Coming back. You always get lost in space. That's been how many shows are lost in space?
You know what I'm saying?
What do you say, Jay?
I'm going to a space station. I ain't coming back. Sign me up to go to terraform Mars. Shoot me into space.
Yeah, you bugging. I'm gonna be right here. You send me back pictures.
All right, when I'm 80, you can send me to Mars.
Not even then.
That's like a mercy kill. That's horrible, man.
Yeah, exactly. Like, yo, y'all gotta have a lot of development.
They probably won't be taking old people. You know,
that's a long trip.
That's a liability, bro.
Yeah, that's a liability. They don't need you dying on the trip.
When you're going, we'll send your ashes to Mars. We'll do that.
All right, fair. I'll take that.
Yeah, we'll send your ashes to Mars, bro.
Dude, then they gotta. I mean, dude, they got a lot of developing to do on Mars before I go to Mars, man.
Development?
Yeah, like, they got a lot of development to get going on Mars before I go up there.
They better get started.
You know what I'm saying?
Hey, Noah's still in there?
Way to go. What's that?
Is Noah still in there, YaYa?
Oh no, he left.
Okay, cool. All right, Chris, you going to Mars or what?
Shit. I'm probably with Mike on that one, man. A little bit more development. A little more development. But I'm probably closer to
What
Bob.
you want? Like you want like public housing? What kind of development you talking about?
I mean,
just short of that.
Just some sustainability of my life. You know what I mean? Like, let's just look at it that way.
You want to Trader Joe's? What do you want?
You know what I'm saying? They got to be just short of public housing.
Just breathable air, man. That's about it. As far as
amount of.
I don't think we're there yet. Yeah.
So that'll pop
what you got there, Dame?
My bottle's sitting in ice. It's
Casamigos.
I need to get some Casamigos.
Dude, I was gonna bring up the other bottle, man, just in celebration of my man being in Mexico. What is that? Lhasa, whatever the blue and white bottle is. I appreciate you.
I'm in Mexico too.
I was gonna bring that up, man, but I said
I'm in the ocean.
Maybe I'll go get that. I'll do a shot of that in honor of you, man, instead of this drink.
Hey, man, if you do that, I'll order a shot or something too.
Are you back on the tequila wave, Dame? I feel like when I first met you, you were like, bro, you kind of left. You were like, you were knee deep in.
All right, hold on. I gotta go since tequila time. I'll be right back.
Well,
yeah.
All right.
I only left for champagne.
Yeah, but that was like a 4-year period where you
I was still drinking tequila though.
I mean, not to say
tequila was still my shot.
Yeah, I mean, I feel you, but I feel like there was a stretch where you were like champagne and craft beer for like 4 years. Whereas like before,
actually, craft beer was first.
Yeah,
it was always craft beer.
Then it went to champagne.
Then I put on pounds.
Yeah,
and,
right.
Amen.
Champagne wave.
I drank about 500. I drank about 500 beers. And put it on Instagram, and I gained like 20 pounds. And then I just changed it over. I went to vodka, back to vodka. But this has always been my shot, though. Like
tequila, yeah,
always.
Sure.
Even when I was drinking like Remy, like an idiot, I would do shots of tequila. You know, not smart.
You're going way too hard. Yeah, that's too much.
My drink at choice for a while was Remy on ice with lemon. I don't know what it was. Just a Remy on ice with lemon squirted inside of it.
That kind of cuts the burn a little bit, man.
Thank you. Well, I was a bartender. I see you know.
Yeah, that cuts the burn.
And
I used to do lime on my cognac. Yeah, on my My Hennessy, little lime in there.
And
After like the
ice.
second, third one, you didn't need it no more though.
Nah. And the ice warm this out. It's like
You don't need shit after the second or third.
Yeah, after like the second, you only need to cut it on like the first, second, first
keep
two.
going.
After that,
Yeah.
you just like you don't even need the ice no more.
we'll get it in the snifter. We'll come in a snifter. So it's like this bulb of a drink, you know?
Yeah, man.
It's a party starter.
For sure. Or a party ender, depending on the time you start drinking it.
A lot of times there was a party ender. There was a lot of wild nights in the 2000s for sure.